and welcome to Global Education's virtual Study Abroad Expo. Today we're joined by our colleagues at Murdoch University. Thank you so much, Mandela, for joining us, and Fahad. Global Education is an education agency that assists students with start to finish of the entire application process. So we would assist you with your visas, your accommodation, and hold your hand through the entire process and liaise directly with our colleagues at Murdoch regarding your application, just to make sure that everything is in order the way that it should be. So thank you so much, Mandela and Fahad. I'm going to leave it to you to present. And if you have any questions, please do leave them in the chat box for the end of this webinar. Mandela, I think you're on mute.
Sorry.
There we go.
So thank you for the invite. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes. So my name is Mandela Sangura. I'm the in-country representative for Murdoch University. I will be taking through a presentation about Murdoch and the courses that we do offer. So before you choose to study in Murdoch, first I would just like to introduce to you why you should choose Perth as your destination. Murdoch University is located in Western Australia, in Perth, and there are various reasons you need to look at before choosing your destination of study. And I will just share a little bit about why you choose Perth as a destination. As your study destination in Australia. So shortly look at the industry, the climate, the beaches, the sports. And one of the key things is the low living costs in Perth compared to other cities across Australia, the work rights, and then the livability. So where is Perth? Perth is located in Western Australia. As you know, there are several cities across Australia, and Perth is one of them, and that's where Murdoch University is located. So the first thing, one of the things that might interest you to choose Perth is the Perth lifestyle, and one of the things just like to share about is the industry. Perth is one of Australia's largest state, and it has a population of 2.6 million people. It's actually one of the primary industry in Australia and a banking hub. If you've done a little bit of research or you know about Perth, you realize that Western Australia is known for Australia's mining hub, and it's the largest in terms of iron ore producer in the world. In terms of climate, Perth is ranked as one of the sunniest cities across Australia, with 300 days of sunshine per year. And it's a good destination if you are an outdoor and adventure kind of person. And it's a very, very good city in terms of the sunshine. And it's also ranked in the New York Times as top 50 places to visit. The study was done in 2019. In terms of beaches, if you someone who likes beaches, Perth has over 19 breathtaking beaches that stretches over 50 kilometers. And in terms of surfing and kite surfing, it has one of the best locations. It's one of the best locations, actually. In terms of sports, Perth is what was awarded the world's most beautiful stadium. That's the Optus Stadium, and that's in 2019. And the stadium hosts several sports, soccer, concerts, talk of cricket, AFL, etc. Very key in terms of choosing your destination in Australia is the low living costs. Perth is the most affordable capital city in Australia. And on average, the rent prices compared to cities like Sydney, Sydney is 80% higher, while Melbourne is 40% higher compared to Perth. So it's one of the cities that you will enjoy low living costs across in terms of rent and even commodities that you might require. So this is just the ranking in terms of the affordability. You can see in terms of the high living standards or cost of living, Perth is very, very low compared to the other cities, which is a key factor when you're looking forward to choose your study destination. Livability, it's ranked in the top 15 most livable cities across the world, and it's also rated as one of the safest places in the world. And one of the things you also learn about Perth is that the diverse and it's well-connected city in terms of culture and also students destination. It's one of the cities that has high numbers of people from different cultures studying there. In terms of working, Perth student visa holders, you're allowed to work part-time during the semester, and also you're allowed to work full-time during the holidays. The minimum wage is averagely $20 per hour. So that's just about. So you've decided you're going to study in Australia. So that's a little bit about Perth. So I'll just play this short video about Perth as a summary of the part of our lifestyle and your study destination. So you've decided you're going to study in Australia, right? Now you just need to pick a seat. Which one?
Mandela, it seems like we can't see the video, but I can hear it playing in the background. There we go. Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry, there we go. Okay, it's playing nicely. Thanks.
A Sydney rental one-bedroom apartment will cost $1,900 Australian dollars a month on average. Compare this with an average of $1,000 Australian dollars a month in Perth. Turns out, Perth is the most affordable city in Australia. Even rent prices in Melbourne are 50% higher than Perth. Budgeting around $5 million per week for living expenses like food, bills. Cost of living and a great student lifestyle. To find out more about becoming an international student in Perth, our website.
So that was a short video about Perth compared to other cities across Australia. And this is just a summary when you compare Perth versus Sydney. Perth, in terms of regional city, you get 3 years of post-work study rights. That's after you graduate, you're eligible to stay in Perth and work for 3 years. And then there is also access to regional scholarship. And said it's one of the happiest and sunniest cities in the world. Then in the video, you realize that there is 40% discount in terms of public transport. Then the average, when you compare that to Sydney, you get 2 years post-work study rights of an average commute, average rent of $1,900 per month at dollars. So coming now to Murdoch University, why will you choose Murdoch? So one is we different and we are proud to be it. When you're thinking of yourself, there is no limit on what you might achieve. So we're looking forward to welcome you to Perth and to Murdoch University. Skip that. So in terms of the experience at Murdoch University and a little bit about our history, we, as a university, established in 1975, and we were Perth's second university. So far, we have over 13,500 students from across 100 countries at our Perth campus. That's from across the world. And then we have over 200 quality undergraduate and graduate degree students. From our research, 81% of undergraduate and 19% of graduate, we have 81% of undergraduate students and 19% of our graduate students. So this is the student breakdown. So 60% of our students are domestic, and international offshore from Singapore and Dubai are 24%. And then in terms of onshore, we have 16%, that's international students. And they said 81% of all these students are undergraduate, while the 19% are postgraduate. So in terms of ranking, we are top 100. We are in top 100 universities in the world, under 50. And in terms of research, 87% of research at world standard or better. In terms of range areas, we number 1 in Australia for a university employment outcome. That's from the 2018 graduate outcome survey. And then 90% satisfaction. That's the 90% overall satisfaction with student experience. That was the survey from student experience. That's in 2019. 5 stars in study. Overall experience, we received a 5-star rating in terms of overall student experience as engineering and computing plus information system, and also 5-star in learning engagement, this in veterinary sciences, business plus management, and also received a 5-star rating in terms of quality teaching in engineering, nursing, and technology. In terms of student support, we received the 5-star rating in business plus management, nursing, and engineering courses. So a little bit about Murdoch University. That's just an aerial view of where we are located in Perth, in Australia. So I will talk about Murdoch University degrees that we do offer. So we have different study areas. We have business and law, we have creative arts and communication, we have sciences, we have technology, we have engineering, we have health, we have teaching, and then we have social and cultural studies. So just a little bit about the majors that we have for undergraduate business and law. So there is accounting, there is business law, hospitality and tourism, management, human resource, international business, marketing, criminal law, and then crime science and law. For postgraduate in business and law, we have 4 majors. That's business administration, human resource management, international affairs and security, and then there is professional accounting. In undergraduate, for creative and arts and communications discipline, we have majors like journalism, screen production, graphic design, global media and communication, English and creative arts. If you are into theater and drama, we also have a major for you, and also photography. In that category for postgraduate, we have a design thinking, communication, health communication, games and app production, if you're interested in producing apps. And then also if you're interested in web development and web communication, we also got a major for you. In engineering, so I'm just going fast. We will talk a little bit about some of them in the next slides. So we have 3 majors in engineering. That's engineering technology, environmental, and renewable energy. For postgraduate engineering, we only have 1 major. That's renewable and sustainable energy. In the undergraduate health discipline, for majors, we have nursing, which is one of the major courses that we have in our students from Africa enrolling at Murdoch University. We also have a good number of students enrolling for psychology and the sport and exercise science, then chiropractic science. In that category for health, for postgraduate, we have counseling, health administration, policy and leadership, clinical psychology, exercise science, healthcare management, which has also attracted a good number of students from the Africa region, among others. For the discipline of sciences, in terms of undergraduate, we have several majors. Just a few of them to mention. We have chemistry, forensic biology and toxicology, environmental management, animal science, mathematics, etc. And then for postgraduate, in terms of the science discipline, we have majors like veterinary medical science, food security, forensic science, wildlife health and conservation, among others. And then we also have several majors for the discipline of social and cultural studies, community development, which is one of the growing markets for us in Africa, international aid and development, global politics and policy, terrorism and counterterrorism, tourism and events. For postgraduate majors, we have community development, development studies, public policy and management, sustainable development. In case you're interested in international affairs and security, we also have a major in that. And then for teaching undergraduate, there is very, very interesting majors in case you're interested or someone into teaching, early childhood and primary major, primary 1 to 10, and then health and physical education. For the majors in that category, we have tertiary and workplace, coursework, research, primary teaching, and secondary teaching. There is an interesting discipline that we have, the undergraduate technology discipline, which is also one of our leading markets for African students, and where there has been a major interest in terms of students interested in the computer science and business information system. We have got a good number of students applying for these courses. I think it's because of the growing technology across the world. In case you're interested in cyber forensics, we are one of the leading universities in offering these majors, this major. In case you are into games technology and developing games and also developing apps, we have majors for you. For postgraduate, we have information technology, data science, games and app production, IT management, web communication, information technology, internet working and security. So we also do offer honors degrees. So if you receive excellent results throughout your undergraduate degree, you may be eligible to undertake honors. This is an additional year of study that is just designed to further your knowledge you've developed throughout your undergraduate course. It's generally through an advanced research skill unit, or it might be a combination with some additional coursework. I'll also talk a little bit about scholarships that we do offer. So for our international students, in terms of online, since COVID, we had shifted to online. So our students by then were qualify to apply for the 40% online international scholarship. So this is just the breakdown of the scholarship that we have for the International Welcome Scholarship values for undergraduate degrees. We have business plus nursing, which is equivalent to 12,000 US dollars, and you can see the breakdown. Have engineering, which is also 11,000, which is $11,000, and also you can see the breakdown. You can always discuss this in case you're interested in an undergraduate degree, either in nursing or engineering, or any other that qualifies for our International Welcome Scholarship. For postgraduate, we also have scholarships in nursing and business plus nursing. So it's equivalent to 10,000. And then the deductions are made during the first and the second years, as shown. And then any other that qualifies for the scholarship, it's usually equivalent to 7,000 USD. And you can see the reductions during the first and the second year. So we also offer honor scholarships that are available at our university, and it's equivalent to Australian dollars, 10,000 Australian dollars. So let's have a look at the academic entry requirements for our programs. The minimum undergraduate entry requirement for Murdoch University usually depends on the specific country of origin. We have different requirements depending on the origin. For South Africa, we look at the if one has a senior certificate in terms of English, if be able to score 4 or better in English. And then for postgraduate, the courses are a bit different, and I will be able to share that later. Depends with the master's degree, but we look at if someone has successfully completed at least 2 university units at a QF level, 7 degree or above. And then for honors, completion of bachelor's degree or equivalent in the same discipline, generally with a distinction average and subject to availability of a suitable supervisor for approval by the dean. So this is just a breakdown of the English entry requirement for the graduate degrees. And you can see for elites, most of our undergraduate degree, we look at 6.0 overall with no band less than 6. Then you can also see the other English tests requirement that we have. So we have specific degrees that the band is a bit higher. Like law, we look at, for elites, we look at 6.5. And then education, 7. Education, nursing, and veterinary, we look at 7 with no band less than 7. So for postgraduates, entry requirement, elites, we look at 6.0 overall with no band less than 6. And then we have the others like TOEFL, look at 73 with no band less than 18. Pearson, look at 50 overall with no band less than 50. And these are just the ones that we accept at Murdoch universities. So just to note that degree in the areas of education, wildlife health and conservation, veterinary, psychology, food security, and counseling have an alternative entry requirement. And we usually able to counsel students depending on their area of interest. So looking at the GT statement, at the GT, the statement of purpose, there are several things we look at when we are assessing. So some of the things we look at are a previous study, what was the student studying previously, if they're able to qualify for the degree they're applying, the gap in previous study, current employment, are you currently employed, We also look at the ties to home country or the country of residence. You'll be able to come back to your home country after you finish your study. Situations including economic in the country of residence. Also key, look at the financial stability, or maybe if you're having a sponsor, you're able to look and assess that. And then potential situation in Australia. Also look at the knowledge about the course content, the value of the course to your future, the reason why you are studying the course, and then of course your immigration history. In terms of the financial capacity, which is one of the first option you look at is if the student is able to show sufficient funds to meet the 12 months expenses in Australia. And then option 2, we look at them if the student is able to meet the minimum annual income requirement of Australian dollars 62,000 averaging. And then we're able now to refer to your offer letter for annual tuition fee and the overseas student health cover. And then also at the living expenses, which is 21,000 US dollars. And then we also have the travel expenses. But in terms of the living expenses, this is on the high end. The amount that is there is on the high end. So in case you do not qualify directly to do a degree or a course at our university, we usually have pathway packages partners that we work with, where you can go through before joining our university. So these are some of the providers that we've partnered with that offer different courses. So in case maybe you don't meet the English requirement or maybe the academic requirement, we usually work with these pathway partners to make sure that you are admitted. So in some of them, you're able to join, that you do the courses, they're able to join our course, some at the second year or first year, depending with the course. So NIT has Diploma of IT, Canning College, year 12 and 11, a certificate for university access program, a Diploma of Commerce. For IIBT, we have certificates, diplomas, business and IT, English and academic purposes, Kaplan, like that, Phoenix Academy. So it just depends with the one that you're interested in and also the course that you want to do. So a little bit about accommodations. So if you want to study at our university, so there are several options for you, depending with the one that might suit you best, and also looking at your budget. So the first option is you can say to stay on campus, and on the campus, we have apartments, and then there are several advantages that come with it. We have games and study lounges, and the rooms range from $140 per week, and you also able to access several things like swimming pool. There is a vibrant student community, and then there is the volleyball and the basketball courts. You can also decide to stay off campus. So this whereby you can decide to share a house with other students in the nearby suburb, or you can also decide to live in an Australian family. And this will help you also experience the life in Australia. So the two options are on campus and off campus. And just to note that on campus, it's more of a village life or style, and the apartments are fully furnished. The village offers a range of facilities, as I said, swimming pool. You know, there are several activities for outdoor. If you're an outdoor person, sports, study rooms, movie rooms, and more. So in case you're also interested to know more about the on-campus accommodation, you can always visit our website. In case you're staying off campus and you want to share a house, there are several that you can share with your fellow students, or maybe you can decide to stay alone. So they are shared or privately rented, depending on your budget. And you can also decide to live with an Australian family. This is just if you're interested to learn or know more about Australian life, an Australian family can take you in. And we can apply that through Homestay Network. So that is it about Murdoch University and Perth. So in case you have any questions, I have my colleagues who also help me answer some of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mandela. Really, that was lovely to observe and to understand and to get more information about Murdoch. So I actually have a few questions. Murdoch has got such a diverse offering of courses, which is so lovely to see. So they appeal to students from all different categories and ranges. Can students major in multiple subjects within different faculties?
Yes, they can. Ofa, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take that one. And before we go into that question, I will just briefly touch upon the scholarships. So the scholarships given in the presentation, they were actually during the pandemic. So since the pandemic is over now, we don't have online scholarship of 40% at the moment. So the standard scholarship for all the students is 20% scholarship that applies to the total duration of the course. So whatever the course is, if student is studying, for example, 3 years of bachelor's, he will have 20% off on each payment. And if he's doing postgrad studies, same goes for them, which is higher than that which has been mentioned in the presentation. So
Okay.
it's a great financial support for the student if they choose Murdoch University as a study destination. Now coming towards your question, yes, student can do multiple majors, and that is one of the beauties of studying in Murdoch University. He can choose whatever he wants to study as an additional major from a different faculty. Even students who are doing their bachelor's of, say, arts subject, if they want to shift it towards science, they can choose that as an additional major.
I think that's great because you do find students who are a bit multifaceted and want to get a taste of different faculties before they really decide what kind of career that they want to go into. I mean, I'm sure you have game design students who also want to do a little bit of engineering subjects as well. Just because of the IT, the STEM, all of those different things that will help them progress in their career. And then back to the scholarships, thank you for telling us about that. Are these academic merit scholarships?
These scholarships are not academic achievement-based scholarships. These scholarship is basically international welcome scholarship that is being offered to all international students, irrespective of the grades. So it's a standard scholarship for all the students.
That's amazing. What a great offering. Wow. Students, I hope you're listening. And then I just had one more question. So with regards to COVID and online learning, a lot of students have been kind of latching onto online learning just to get ahead with their studies, being that there have been so many travel restrictions. Things are starting to become a bit more relaxed. Does this mean that study has resumed to an exclusive on-campus study, or is there still that hybrid on-campus and online?
Well, it's exclusively on campus now because borders are fully opened now, and there is no problem of visa processing and getting into Perth. So the online offering is stopped now. So
Okay.
the students they apply for the visa, they go to Perth, they study face to face.
Okay, fantastic. Right,
Yeah.
so that concludes all of my questions. I love the fact, as mentioned earlier, that students can double major within different faculties. And I think that's something that's very rare and exclusive to Murdoch. And I think it definitely puts the edge on this institution for a lot of students going forward. So thank you so much both for the presentation. I think we've answered all questions and given all the students all the information that they have. But for future students who will be joining this webinar, if you have any questions, I'm just going to share my screen and you can see our contact details. There we go. If you have any questions, please do get in touch with us. We'll be happy to help you with all of your questions, and we'll be liaising directly with Mandela and Fahad regarding anything that you need to know from Murdoch University. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for all your support, and thank you for taking out time to listening to us.
Of course, happy to. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.